My word. Can't tell what it is though.
Tonight, we're uncovering 6 of the most spine-chilling encounters ever caught on camera. These stories will have you thinking twice before ever setting foot in the woods alone again. Let's jump straight into the first unsettling encounter. The first video tonight comes from Moxley's Paranormal World, a UK-based paranormal wilderness exploration channel focused on solo forest camping and alleged unexplained activity during overnight stays in remote woodland areas. It is April 29th, 2026 in the United Kingdom. The setup begins with familiarity. He returns to a woodland area linked to previous unsettling experiences, already approaching the location with caution. Before camp is established, positioning becomes important. Unsafe ground and hanging branches are identified and avoided, while perimeter alarms are attached around the site as an early warning system.
Because it definitely looks big enough. Yeah, it's going to be big enough here. And even if it's not, we'll make it big enough. I keep looking around because I don't feel like I'm the only person here, and I possibly ain't the only person here. Because what time are we at? 8 o'clock in the evening. It's a gorgeous day as well. This ground's really soft. Isn't it great just listening to the wildlife as you're setting up? It's one of the main reasons why I actually love coming out doing these ones. Yeah, okay, you've got the stories of the...
Before darkness fully settles, he explores nearby woodland structures made from stacked logs and fallen branches. The formations appear deliberate, but their origin isn't confirmed. He continues preparing camp, while the environment stays unusually quiet. The reflection changes position. Movement appears between gaps in the trees, forcing him to keep tracking the same area repeatedly. Nothing becomes clearly identifiable. But the repeated repositioning creates the impression of something maintaining distance while staying within view.
It was like a thud. Just here. Is there someone else here with me? If there is, come forward, come speak to me. Or show yourself. Show yourself on the camera. Maybe come and show me what you look like. Don't know who I'm speaking to. Let's go over this side. Alright, I've just turned the spirit talker back on. Let's go for a walk.
3. Forgive my sins.
3. Forgive my sins. Well, what did you...
1,840.
1,840. 1840s. Leg. There's something...
My name is Raymond.
Raymond? Is that what we just got in the tent as well? Raymond?
I'm always watching.
You always watching, are you?
Kelsey.
What are you always watching? Are you watching people who come out here doing the photographer? Now the strangest thing is, this place is supposedly
I'm sorry.
full of wildlife, like deers and all sorts.
May I touch you?
No, you cannot touch me.
I've been trapped here.
You've been trapped here. And the thing is, earlier on, we've seen deer tracks.
Additional reflections appear deeper within the woodland. That changes the situation from a single point of focus to uncertainty across multiple directions. Distance becomes impossible to judge accurately through the trees, increasing confusion over what's actually being seen. The movement continues while he walks through the forest. The reflections never fully approach, but they continue appearing ahead or alongside his direction of travel. That creates the feeling of parallel movement rather than direct contact.
Or than either. It could have been a plane, and it's just the angling, looking up at it. But anyway, I need to get myself a quick cup of coffee, pack this tent away. But yeah, if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing, turn on post notifications. A new video is up every single Wednesday. Don't forget to smash that like as well, guys. It really is appreciated. And head over, hit the hype button down below. The more hypes the video gets, the more YouTube algorithm will push the video out. What do you reckon? Shall I get myself the cowboy hat? Because the beanie hat, honestly.
One of the perimeter alarms suddenly activates near camp. He immediately checks the surrounding area, but no visible source is identified. That's the first direct interruption to the campsite itself. Further sounds are heard close to camp, muffled movement and possible activity near the perimeter. He investigates again, but nothing is confirmed visually. The alarms suggest something entered the monitored area, but the lack of visible evidence keeps the entire sequence unresolved. This one is built around persistence rather than escalation. Reflection, movement, repositioning, then proximity near camp. Nothing is ever fully identified, and that's what sustains the tension throughout the night, because the activity never becomes clear enough to confirm, but it also never fully disappears. By the end, the experience remains defined by uncertainty. The feeling that something stayed just outside visibility without ever fully revealing itself. Before we move on, if you're enjoying the video so far, leaving a like really helps. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a good time. We recently passed 50,000 subscribers, and that's entirely because of you. The next target is 100,000 before the end of the year. Ambitious, but worth aiming for. There's a hidden word somewhere in this video. See if you can spot it. Now, let's continue. The next horrifying video comes from Man Dog Wild, a UK-based outdoor adventure and wild camping channel focused on solo wilderness expeditions, bushcraft camping, and immersive overnight stays in remote woodland environments. It is April 11th, 2026 in a remote woodland campsite, United Kingdom. The setup begins normally. Camp is established for a multi-day stay, with focus placed on practical systems, cooking gear, sleeping setup, and weather protection. Conditions gradually change as rain begins moving across the valley.
Filming this video, for the past 2 nights, there's been this sound of rocks clacking together. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like someone hitting rocks together or something like that. And it's just, well, behind the tent here. If you see the Yez there, she's actually sitting in front of where the sound comes from. Now, she doesn't go in there. She won't go in there. Both nights I've woken up to see her awake, and then we hear the noise. She'll come outside and she'll sit there just like that.
The first recurring pattern is introduced. Over multiple nights, a distinct rock clacking sound is heard from dense woodland behind the tent. The timing remains consistent, roughly the same point each night. That's the key detail. Not the sound itself, but repetition without variation. The forest behind camp is too thick to safely move through, preventing any direct inspection of the source. The dog's behavior changes alongside the sounds. Instead of roaming normally, Yeti remains fixed, facing the same section of woodland. She avoids entering the area entirely. That shift matters because it breaks routine behavior rather than escalating aggression. The dog stays alert, stationary, and focused on one direction for extended periods.
Well, as you see, it's so thick in here, it's almost impossible to get in. And the Yester don't want nothing to do with it, which is extremely strange. So I tried to look in there yesterday, and again, I couldn't find any way in, but no, obviously nothing's changed today.
An attempt is made to visually inspect the area, but terrain and visibility prevent further movement into the trees. No path, no clear line of sight, and fading light remove the option of safely pushing deeper. So the situation remains unresolved, rather than investigated fully.
It's just one of those that kind of lures us in and takes us out, because where is the Yester? There's Yeti. Yester, what are you doing, mate? Nappy we got something screaming at us just up there and you're sitting there? What's going on? Guzakrism. Seniesen. He missed.
The atmosphere breaks suddenly when a fox appears near camp. Yeti immediately gives chase into the darkness, disappearing into the woodland. Then, a loud scream-like sound is heard deeper within the trees. No source is identified. The sound interrupts the chase entirely, shifting the situation from routine wildlife movement to uncertainty about what's further inside the forest.
That was like a big thud just outside the tent. And that was closer than over there. It's been a couple of minutes. Haven't heard anything else, so you know, there's many times I get out.
Heavy rain moves in overnight, overtaking the environment entirely. Attention shifts back towards shelter survival and weather exposure. By morning, no physical evidence is found around camp. The repeated sounds, the scream, and the close-range impact all remain unexplained. This one is driven by repetition and proximity. Patterned sound, behavior change, failed investigation, then direct disturbance near camp. Nothing is visually confirmed. And that's what keeps the tension sustained rather than resolved. Because each event adds another layer without ever revealing a source. By the end, the experience stays defined by uncertainty inside the woodland. Not by what was seen, but by what repeatedly stayed just outside visibility. The next chilling video comes from Grizzly Gaz, a UK-based solo wild camping and woodland exploration channel focused on immersive overnight stays in remote forest environments. It is April 29th, 2026, in a remote woodland, United Kingdom.
So we're back in the woods where lots of stuff has happened to me in the past. I've had creepy blokes sneaking up on me in the night. People pushing my tent down on top of me. Strange noises in the night. And there's even been UFO abductions from here. There's quite a lot of structures in here as well what I want to go and have a look at. So we'll take a look at them as well. And while I'm waiting for everyone to bugger off, I'm going to set up my perimeter alarms for tonight. So, probe's on the tree there. There we go. Caught us. Right, come on, mate. Come in. Door's open. Come on.
The setup begins with familiarity. Gaz returns to a woodland area connected to previous unsettling experiences, already approaching the location with caution. Camp is positioned near the edge of the forest, and perimeter alarms are attached to nearby trees before darkness fully sets in. That matters, because security becomes part of the setup process, rather than a reaction later in the night. While preparing camp, he notices stacked logs and rough wooden structures scattered through the area. Nothing directly suggests danger, but the arrangement feels deliberate enough to hold attention.
I don't know if it were eye shine. Fuck with that. Oh, it is eye shine, look. Can you see it? What is that? Look at it.
The first major shift happens during a walk through the forest at night. A faint reflection appears between the trees, eventually resolving into orange eye shine. The light remains visible long enough to suggest fixed positioning, rather than a brief reflection from movement.
Circling me. Can you see it? There, look. It's still there, staring at me through bushes. Come on.
The shape becomes more focused through the bushes. It appears stationary for a moment, facing directly toward him. No footsteps or movement sounds accompany it. That silence becomes the key detail, because the visual presence changes position repeatedly without any matching environmental noise.
It's gone into this dense. There, look. Can you see him through that little gap? It's circling me. It's like Predator, isn't it?
Later in the night, a loud branch break is heard near camp, followed by one of the perimeter alarms activating. He immediately checks the area surrounding the tent, but nothing visible is found. That's the first disturbance directly involving the campsite itself.
I can hear a fox screaming in distance. Oh no, it's not that. Hi. I know you're out there.
A second alarm triggers shortly after. At the same time, faint distant noises are heard deeper in the woodland. The sounds remain unclear, but consistent enough to keep attention focused beyond the tree line.
Yeah, I can hear it. Bing bong, bing bong. Let's go check the other one. That noise was just weird, man. Sounded like a bloke mumbling or something. There's another alarm on that tree. Yeah. Can you hear it?
While checking the alarms again, he hears what sounds like low mumbling or indistinct vocal-like noise within the forest. The source is never located visually. Even after searching nearby areas, nothing is confirmed. This one is built around repeated disturbance rather than escalation. Eyeshine, movement, multiple reflections, then direct interaction near camp. Nothing is ever identified clearly, and that uncertainty becomes the entire structure of the night, because every disturbance remains just outside confirmation, visible enough to react to, but never clear enough to explain. The next shocking video of the night comes from Dave Explores, a US-based urban exploration channel focused on abandoned mining camps, remote wilderness structures, and decaying off-grid locations left behind in isolated terrain. It is April 30th, 2026 in central Idaho, United States. The exploration begins at elevation. Dave reaches a remote mining camp positioned high in snow-covered mountain terrain, surrounded by abandoned bunkhouses and deteriorating structures. The environment immediately establishes isolation. No maintained roads, no nearby activity, just scattered remnants of a former operation, exposed to years of weather and decay.
There we go. This is really cool. Acme Foundry Company. Check this out, they built 2 chairs out of wood.
Inside one of the cabins, the atmosphere changes from ruin to preservation. Furniture, shelving, bed frames, and household items are still positioned throughout the interior. The layout appears partially intact, rather than stripped or vandalized. That creates the impression of abandonment happening gradually, rather than through full removal of belongings.
You see what that is? Let me grab it. No freaking way. Check that out. That's a revolver. You know, I found guns before. I found a Suicide Special, but it wasn't like this good of condition. It was a super antique. This thing's really cool. I already checked the trigger. I always check that, and there's nothing in it.
While searching deeper inside the cabin, Dave discovers an old revolver hidden among the remaining items. The weapon appears aged and in uncertain condition. Its presence changes the tone of the exploration immediately. Not because it's used, but because it introduces evidence of how isolated and self-reliant life at the camp may have been.
That is sketch. Holy cow. Even if you make it past this collapsed section, it's just collapsed again up ahead. And you can't even do it because if you look, this is all ice. Over there, where you have to crawl, that's all ice as well. That's ice.
Further structures higher on the mountain show advanced structural failure. Buildings lean unevenly, foundations have shifted, and sections appear close to collapse. Exposure to snow, freeze cycles, and isolation have gradually overtaken the site. This one is defined by preservation, inside collapse. The cabins still hold evidence of daily life, while the surrounding environment is actively breaking the site apart. Nothing paranormal happens. The tension comes entirely from isolation, unstable terrain, and the condition of the abandoned structures themselves. The next video comes from Beard in the Wild, a UK-based wild camping and bushcraft channel focused on solo outdoor expeditions, gear testing, and immersive overnight stays in remote woodland locations. It is January 26, 2025, on the North Downs Way, United Kingdom. The trip begins as a winter gear test. Moving alone through woodland off the North Downs Way, the camper searches for a hidden location suitable for an overnight stay while testing a 4-season tent setup. The first site offers concealment, but proximity to a walking path creates hesitation. That becomes the main trade-off early: privacy versus accessibility.
Just been outside to hang my rubbish in a tree. Reason why I did that is with the OEX Fox 2, something chewed through at night to get to some dry roasted peanuts. So since then I've been a little bit paranoid. 8:30, but 8:30 in the world of winter camping is roughly bedtime. So you can see from the shots before that it's snowing, and I didn't expect that. The weather app said 0 chance of rain, and they were right, but it is snow. The temperature has dropped outside. So temperature outside currently is 1 degree inside the tent. So 8.3 degrees inside the tent, 1 degree outside the tent. I'll see you.
As darkness settles, behavior shifts toward precaution. After previous experiences with animals reaching camp supplies, he hangs rubbish and food items in a nearby tree away from the tent. That detail matters because it shows awareness of potential wildlife movement before the night fully begins.
And there's a slight issue with one of the zips. From around 9 o'clock onwards, I heard a bit of stirring. It wasn't the typical animal noises you hear as animals are passing by and around. It was definitely human. So I don't know if someone tipped up to try and use this spot and then saw me and then moved on. I might go down that way actually, just to see if I can see anything. How can anyone class wild camping as rough when you're waking up in the morning and getting yourself a mocker? So I figured I might ask for your guys' help. The one thing left that I'm struggling with, and even right now as we speak, is cold feet. I've bought some like mountaineering socks from...
Later in the night, a sudden sound breaks the silence outside the tent. He stops immediately to listen. The movement feels distinct enough to stand out from the normal background noise of the woodland, creating uncertainty over whether it's wildlife or something closer to camp. No visual confirmation follows. The sound remains isolated and unexplained, but the lack of visibility inside the dark forest amplifies the tension surrounding it. This one stays grounded in isolation rather than escalation. Site selection, weather exposure, then a single unexplained disturbance during the night. Nothing develops beyond that moment, but the atmosphere holds because the environment is already controlled, down to the smallest details. By morning, the experience returns fully to practical camping and gear testing. The unexplained sound remains unresolved, but never moves beyond uncertainty in the woods surrounding the tent. Before we get into the next clip, around 70% of people watching aren't subscribed. We're working toward 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And if you're enjoying the video, hitting subscribe really does help. All right, let's get back to it. The last video of the night comes from Ant Survive the Night. a UK-based wild camping and ultralight backpacking channel focused on remote overnight camps, gear testing, and immersive outdoor experiences in isolated wilderness locations. It is April 29th, 2026 in the West Penine Moors, United Kingdom. The trip begins with location awareness. As the group arrives at the moorland campsite, attention immediately shifts toward the nearby World War II crash site, positioned just beyond the hill. The environment feels exposed from the start. Cold air, open terrain, and very little natural cover across the moors. Nothing unusual happens, but the historical context changes the tone before camp is even established.
Well, welcome to this video. We are up on the beautiful West Penine Moors. And yeah, it's a special one actually. It's something that I only found out about really recently. I never even knew that this existed. Yeah, the crash site of a P-51 Mustang American fighter. So I cannot wait to show you.
The focus returns briefly to practical camping. Shelters are pitched, equipment is tested, and a new tent system is evaluated in freezing conditions. But the openness of the moorland keeps isolation present throughout the setup process. There's very little environmental noise, and visibility stretches across empty terrain in every direction. Night settles fully over the campsite. Cooking begins, and the group transitions into evening routine. The stillness becomes the defining feature at this stage. Very little wind, no nearby movement, and almost complete silence across the moors.
Okay. And we've probably picked the best weekend to come out and check out the ultralight tents again. So order of the day is to get a brew and then get down to the crash site and have a look at this amazing place.
At the crash site, the tone changes completely. The group pauses quietly, taking in the location and reflecting on the pilot who died there. No dramatic reaction, just stillness. The lack of wind and movement across the open ground makes the area feel unusually heavy and quiet, reinforcing the historical weight of the site itself. This one is driven entirely by atmosphere and location. Cold exposure, open moorland, then historical context, layered over isolation. Nothing threatening happens throughout the camp, but the silence of the landscape and the reality of the crash site give the experience a constant sense of weight. By the end, the overnight feels less like a survival challenge and more like spending time inside a place shaped permanently by history. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these 6 spine-tingling encounters, be sure to like the video and subscribe for more chilling and terrifying videos. There's always another mystery waiting to be uncovered, and you won't want to miss what's next. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next video.